hope that you are hearing loud and clear. Your humble servant, Bisha, is here again. After 178 days and nights not being live on radio, I'm here again. And as a theme song, Exodus plays, I want you to call all your friends, your acquaintances, and let them roll on to this program at BeHill.net. Log on to this radio station. We will be with you for the next 2 hours at least, giving you some very, very important reasoning. Very important reasoning. We may not have everything technically correct tonight, as is the first program we are having, but we expect to bring it to the fullest soon after. This program will be aired on this radio station, hopefully every Friday evening from 7 until 9 or 9:30 thereabouts. It's a fully interactive and informative program, and we expect you to full take of it and to be a part of it anywhere you are on this blessed earth that the Almighty has given to us. So again, on the first day of the year in the calendar we are using, 2021, Friday, January the 1st, which happens to be Ayman birthday, or Earth Strong, as we say in Rastafari, Earth Day, I greet you to this radio station and this program, first program, as we are stepping into the light. Stepping into the light is the name of this program. So, as per usual, I always start by giving praises. Praises where praises are due. So let us humble ourselves for a while and give thanks and praise to the Almighty and to our ancestors. Glory to the Word, glory to the Son, and glory to the power of the Most High, Jah Rastafari, Earth's rightful ruler. Thanking you again for your guidance, love, and care through the times, and asking please to continue to pour out thy blessings on all thy people in this hour, all thy people, without exception. Keep shining thy light into our path as I step into the light and trod on to Zion, to Mount Zion, to glory, to Eden, to peace, to happiness, to where we all want to be. Glory be to the spirit of our ancestors which walk alongside us always and guide us daily. May the goddess Mayat and the 42 divine ones from creation keep I and I people firmly on the 7 basic principles of order, harmony, truth, balance, law, morality, and justice. Give I and I life over death, light over darkness, mind over matter, and good over evil every time. I say. Yes, people, yes, people, yes, people. It's good to be with you again. It's good to be with you. It's good to be with you. And you know, as the saying goes, I have to be with you because Natty Dread would never run away. Natty Dread would never run away. We're trying to get some music lined up for you, but until we do, I'll just keep on reasoning and wishing you all the best health, strength, happiness, peace, wealth, and you're going in and you're coming out in this year, 2021. This year will be a much different year than the last one. because we are into a different cosmological period, completely different. Where we are today, in the cosmology of things, in the aeration, as and I say in our language, in the settings in the heavens, we have not been here for 800 years. 800 years. In the astrological conjunction of the two largest planets, Jupiter and Saturn, their alignment together and their alignment with Earth. We have never, ever, the Earth has never been in this position for 800 years ago. And it brings a lot of promise with it. It brings a vibrancy, an energy, but it's only if each one as an individual and I as a collective pick up the negative, the positive energy from this aeration, this set in the constellation, that we could go forward. Started on the 21st of December, which is known as the winter solstice. The winter solstice is the day that winter begins. And at that time, Jupiter and Saturn have not come as close as that in 800 years. And their influences, the synergy of their influences, have good vibrations for those who are willing to accept the vibrations and move forward. So, greetings to the entire audience and beyond, globally. Special greetings to those who make this program possible and to those who helped the previous programs along the way. 2021 greetings to all the people, especially in South Leeward and especially the Camptown Massive. Welcome to the new dispensation, stepping into the light. So, what do you mean by stepping into the light? Stepping. We say stepping, you could be stepping out, but stepping is also a form of percussive dancing. Dancing from the sounds of percussion music, right? A mixture of footsteps and spoken words and clap hands and so on. Of course, it came from our ancestors, African people with the rhythm and natural rhythm. Stepping is also said to be a historical form of communication and storytelling. And our people are the first people who are adept at storytelling. And a lot of our communication of our indigenous peoples and our ancestors were verbal and through songs rather than through writings. It is also said that African steppings influenced the Nubian warriors of the mighty king Pianki of Nubia in the year 720 BC. BC meaning before the Common Era, as well as the Zulu legion of the famed general Shaka Zulu, the Zulu monarch, in the period 1786 BC to 1828 BC. So stepping It's a rhythm thing. So we step in and we step in with our rhythm, sound of the trumpet, whether the first or the second or the last. Most people don't know, but we step into the music of that and to the drum beat, the heartbeat, the percussion beat, into the light of the Father, the light of creation, the light which shines in our iration right now. Okay? And what is light? What is the meaning of light in the language used today? Light, first of all, is something which good energy. And light also means clarity and overstanding. Also means knowledge of the truth and far vision. So we're looking to have clarity, we're looking to be good, we're looking to have overstanding, we're looking to have knowledge of the truth, and we're looking for far vision. Some people only see to the next meal or to the next work day. As a people, right now, in this aeration, the way how things on the earth are going, I and other people have to see far, far, and plan far, plan properly. Otherwise, we always get left behind. Light also means purity and visibility. So, what is the program going to be made up of? Program is going to consist of three major themes: content, the makeup, or the composition, whichever one you want to call it. There are going to be three major themes in this program. First theme is going to be agriculture and food. Yeah, and the order of the three is very important because as we said in our prayers, we ask in Mahat to guide us along the 7 principles, and one of them was order. So in everything you do, you must have order. Order. Today, you're not seeing that too much because a lot of the youth, especially the male youth, we're losing them. We're losing them in their meditation, in their thinking. They're not dressing in proper order. So we're losing them. So we have to make sure that we have order. Agriculture and food is first in this order of the major themes. Because before anything else that man could provide for himself, he had to provide food. The rudimentary form of agriculture at the time was not it is today. It wasn't domesticated. It was more gathering and so on, but there was food because even in the story it said man was placed in a garden called Garden of Eden. Whether it's allegorical or not, man was placed in a garden. And there had to be food, otherwise man would starve very quickly. So agriculture comes first, and food. And agriculture, we'll be looking at things like development and education. We look at about things like farming. We're looking at things like fishing sectors. We're looking at manufacturing. We're going to look at agro-processing. And of course, we're going to be looking at marketing. The second of the major themes is culture. From the culture, we're going to be looking at horticulture. Culture is what we do as a people. Storytelling, part of our culture that has gone. And make sure that we connect again with our real culture of our ancestors, because a lot of our story and our way of life and our dwellings are fashioned by storytelling. And we're allowing other things to creep in too much to that space. So now we don't know much about each other, present, past, or even what we hope to do in the future. We are consumed with other people's business. Then the third part of the culture would be arts and craft. We are the greatest artists and craft people on the face of this earth. We, and I also don't mean Vincentians, I mean our people, our ancestral people, our melanated people, our African people, greatest. And today, arts and craft is not playing. We'll have to play. I don't really want to use the language of what I call the gone era, talking about in the light now. In the light now, arts and craft have to shine and show forth their beauty in everything that we do. In the culture, we also will be dealing with science and math. Because for who don't know, our people were the first to practice these things, science and math, and were the best. So the falling off, we have to pick up now, we have to step up in the life and bring it to an area where our youth could see it and consume it and use it to advance themselves in every direction. Next, we have hospitality and civics. Hospitality. If we are going to go anywhere, the people, we have to be the most hospitable people in the entire region. And we have to have our hospitality come like second nature. First of all, we must have hospitality among ourselves, dance a yard before we dance abroad, and then we have to have it extended to the people who come into our sphere of living. And the other part of culture that we're going to deal with, of course, is spirituality, especially African spirituality. The third and final theme of the three major themes of this program, Stepping into the Light, would be our liberty. We don't have much of that these days. We have a kind of going on and we think it's liberty. It's not liberty because it's not advancing us as a people. Liberty, development is one arm of liberty, and economics is the other arm. On the arm of development, we have health, our health, general health, public health, our health. You know the crisis we're in right now. You know the health crisis we are in this country right now. We're under pressure from several unhealthy situations and organisms and conditions. We have environment, have to take care of the environment. We have our organization, needs a lot of light on that organization to go forward, going forward. And we need our collective security. Without that, we are going nowhere. Nowhere. We'll be picked off like individuals and little groupings and be used all the time if we do not practice collective security. And then in our economics, we have finance, money, and wealth. What those things mean. What do we mean by finance? How do we create it? What do we mean by money? What money means to us? What how we use it? And of course, it is wealth. What is the difference between wealth and money? Because money is not really wealth. It's just a part of it, not even equates with wealth. Lots of people in lots of countries have wealth of experience and knowledge and skill, but they don't have any money, credit cash, because of certain situations. Doesn't mean the wealth doesn't mean worth anything. It's wealth, but it's how to get that wealth now to be used for the benefit of our people and the benefit of the holder of the wealth. That's the economics we're going to talk about. We got to talk about trade. Trade, yes. Centuries ago, thousands of years ago, as the first people on the earth, a lot of trading used to take place. Movement. We were the first to start trade. And we also have to talk about commerce. And finally, on the economics, we have to speak about investment, which we must see that light of investment down the road to move as a country, as a people, as a nation. And we have to focus also, shiny light on banking. Banking, not just in the form as we know it, but even in traditional form. The susu banker, that kind of thing, you know. So our economics practice is how we know it. So we have a few things which we want to shine the light on immediately before I go into the next part and tell you what vehicle and what methods we're going to use to step into the light, because we have to travel in this time on a certain vehicle. And the vehicle have to make sense and have the energy, the right energy, and the right room and space and accommodation to carry all who want to go through and step into the light. So there are three situations which I have been acquainted with recently. And they're not looking good. These are things that we have to shine the light on. So the first one is the wanton destruction of the beach. This is one that I saw for myself. The beach at Lomans Bay, by the rapid removal of sand unchecked by various people. This needs order. This needs order. This needs advocacy. This needs education. And this needs the provision of services and materials to the people who need these things. We cannot wait on the structures that are supposed to do that work and are not doing that work, because by the time that happens, the beach is already destroyed. We have to do it from a community level, from knowledge spreading level. Let the people who are removing the sand know why it's wrong to remove the sand. And if they are reasonable people and they have a little bit of understanding, they would not remove the sand. If they are unreasonable and they're stubborn, then we have to find some way, some positive way of getting them from stopping to remove that sand. And at the same time, helping to satisfy their need for sand, because they need sand to use to do something. But if that doesn't mean you have to remove it from the wrong area at the wrong time. So when you have a convergence of all those bad things happening at the wrong time, you don't get to step into the light. We're stepping into the light. It calls for the empowerment of the fisher folk and the community people who live in the immediate and work and operate in the immediate vicinity of Lomans Bay. It calls for the wider community, Camden Park, Buddy Gutter, Lomans Bay, Lomans, wherever these people are coming from. Nobody should come from anywhere else to remove sand. Call for overstanding and a compliance, so that let law and order and harmony and balance and morality and justice and truth reign. It needs also for getting sand from an area where sand could be removed to these people at affordable rates. Okay? Otherwise, we will all end up as losers. The second thing is the destruction of farmers and gardeners' crops by livestock on the loose. Young goats, young sheep, cattle, big cattle, and pigs in several areas. Dozens of cases have been reported to Iman since I've been here for the last 2 months. And one case I saw for myself twice in a week, right in this village, right in this town, Camptown, a village in Camptown. The light has to shine there too, because this was not always so. There was a time when the light was shining so much that people saw it, and everyone knew they had to tether your animal, or tie your animal, or pen your animal, or house your animal, but you have to keep your animal or animals from destroying other people's produce. And at the time when the light was shining, there were consequences for not doing so. Damage, impounding, fines, fees, and that sort of thing. And it takes, again, information spreading, education, compliance, and knowledge, and of course, help infrastructure to keep people with animals still going farming the animals, whether it's a young man or a young woman with a goat and 3 kids, 2 pigs somewhere, whatever it is, keep them safe from destroying other people's property and bringing poverty on other people and setbacks, because the light is shining. Okay? So we have to look at those things. Things need looking at. And there is a third thing. I think I will give you that in a moment. I can't recall everything that one is at the moment right now, but those are 2 of the 3 things that we have to look at immediately. Okay? So, what instrument, what entity, what social infrastructure, what collective are we using to step into the light and find these things? What is it? How could we do it? We have a lot of organizations and groupings in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Quite a lot. But when you look at them, most of them function individually. They do not communicate effectively and link effectively with each other. One hardly knows what the other one is doing. So they are in no position to benefit from the collective energies and the synergies which could come from that. They are in no position to show a force of collective security. They are in no position to shine a light as one beam going forward, so it could illuminate and light up the real problems that affecting everyone, maybe in different ways, but still affecting everyone. We have a lot of problems as a people in the way we communicate with each other, even in the home, in the village, groupings, in the community, and in the wider island. Communication techniques and methods, although we have the same technological tools like most people, our system and our ethos of communication or methods are ineffective. We assume too much and we take too much for granted. For example, two people having a discussion and doing something, and one calls the other, and the other one is supposed to verify. You say, I sent something for you. Say, all right, by such and such. And the other one is supposed to call and verify that they got it. But our people, we have a kind of way sit down and say, man, if you don't hear me call, you gonna know me get them. No. That's not the way the business world works. That's not the way the people who shine a light and see light and go forward work. You have to keep in the light. Take nothing for granted. Assume nothing, because you never know what circumstances the other person is being confronted with at the moment. We have to work on our communication. We have to work on our linkage. We have to work on our networking. We have to work on our swapping, whether swap labor. We have to work on our teaching. We have to work on our reasoning. Okay? We have to work on the methods, the means, the techniques, and the frequencies, because we're stepping into the light. And when you step into the light, it's completely different than where you were before. Completely different. So in this year, and today, on this broadcast and this program, I am introducing and inviting one and all to step into the light with this vehicle, which through my vision I have had, and the reasons I have had with a lot of people, has come up to develop a structure called acronym is NATURE hyphen I. You could pronounce it Nature I. And what do those letters signify? What do they signify? Well, nature, the N is for national, because what we're forming is national, and our nation extends beyond the shores of St. Vincent and the Grenadines physically. Yes. Nation meaning a people who are of a certain culture and development. Okay? So it relates to a country or a nation than to part of it or to other nations. The whole, everyone who is connected with Urumi or St. Vincent and the Grenadines. However, you are a national in this sense. We are also a nation within a nation if we look at ourselves as indigenous people, as Rastafari, as Garifuna, whoever. So national, we're talking about that. Typical of the people or customs of a particular country or nation, right? We have something particular about us. So this structure is going to be national. The A, what is the A for? The A is for agrarian. Agrarian. Now, what do you mean by agrarian? What is agrarian? I'm helping you here. You're supposed to go and check these things out in the dictionary, but for clarity's sake, I want to explain some of them to you. Agrarian is very apt in this case because we have a lot of problems. A lot of problems. And one of our areas where we have to shine the light and go forward in this country is the one relating to land tenure, especially of local people. Agrarian relates to, it's an adjective, it relates to land or to the ownership or division of land. Too many individuals and groupings have lost their land. Their land, especially to dictates from the state enforced as what they call laws. Left to the pleasure of what we call the state or the government. We have to shine light on that. Land should not be disposed of that way. People should not be disposed of their land that way. Agrarian issues have to be front and center of our going forward. Agrarian also relates to promoting land reform or the interests of farmers, and we are going to promote the interests of farmers going forward in this light. Have to promote the interests of farmers and fisher folk. Right? It's also related to land tenure, and the division of landed property. Very important. Very important. It also means rural or agricultural, agrarian. Agrarian, agrarian. Okay? The A for nature I. The T, what is the T? What does the T represent? The T represents transformation. Transformation. Change the formation, change in form, to change in form, to change in appearance, or to change in structure. When that happens, especially in biology, one of the things they call it metamorphosis, to metamorphose, to change from one form to another, to change from one appearance to another, to change from one structure to another. There's lots of things that need to change in form and in structure, and some in appearance. Transformation is one of the pillars of this structure we are forming going forward. Change in condition, nature, or character. To change into another, that is like if you're converting, to change, that's another meaning of transformation, to change in condition, nature, or character. To convert something from one condition, from one nature, or from one character to another. And it also means to change into another substance. That means to transmute. Okay, to change into another substance. For example, you take cassava roots and you change it into farine and other things. That's it is in cassava. Transformation. By doing that, you add value. Just one little form. Okay? But it happens not just for produce, it happens for structures, for organizations, for groupings, for way of doing things and so on. So transformation. Okay? Transformation occurs by amending patterns, behaviors, habits, and thinking, resulting in improvement. Those three last words are very important. Resulting in improvement. It must result in improvement. You transform pattern, you transform behavior, you transform habit, and you transform thinking. But if in transforming them do not result in improvement, it's not really a transformation, it's a backward step, it's a retrogression. So we want to transform a lot of things going forward in the light. So we have NAT. What is the U for? What does the U represent? The U again is very, very important. Unification. Unification. We have too much individualism among ourselves. Not enough unification. Genuine unification. The process of being united or made into a whole. And as the emperor says, without collective security, and Marcus Garvey said it too, as a people, we ain't going anywhere. And collective security could only come if we have unification, making it into a whole. It also means combining, connecting, linking, mixing, or the act or process of bringing together. Yeah, we have to bring together. We have to combine. We have to connect. We have to link. We have to merge certain things together. Unification. Right? So it's the act of process of bringing together or combining things or people. And we're going to be combining both things and people. Unification. And so what is the R for? What is the R for? Well, the R here is very, very much needed. Without the R, we wouldn't get anywhere far. The R is for replenishment. Replenishment. There isn't anybody, because most people listening to this being either Sunday school or church or have read it other places. You don't have to go there to read it, but it's commonly read in certain scriptures or certain books. What they print. They say, I think it's in the first book, Genesis says, man was asked to multiply and replenish the earth. Replenish. A lot of that not happening right now. The act of filling something up again by replacing what has been used. That is replenishing. It also means to inspire or to nourish. Replenish. A lot of that have to take place. We have to replenish. These days, we're not replenishing. In agriculture, what we're doing is adding poison to the earth. We're not replenishing because of lack of knowledge, lack of the light. So a lot of people think what they sell as fertilizer is what growing the food, or what is the only thing to grow the food, or the better thing to grow the food. Only to find out that half of what you're growing is poisonous to your system and very poisonous to the earth. Very, very poisonous to the earth. So we have to replenish. We have to replenish. So we replenishing. So what is the I for? What is the E for? Rather, what is the E? What is the E? Well, the E is for enterprise. So that's why you get N-A-T-U-R-E, enterprise. Now, say why enterprise? Because we have to be enterprising if we have to make it in this life. If you look around and see, and I'm using St. Vincent and the Grenadines as an example. We have to start here. Look what is happening in the business sector throughout St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Most of our entrepreneurial people are either jamming up somewhere on some street corner, in some little cozy corner somewhere, some little rack up thing, or selling from the back of a vehicle, or you have a little table there somewhere, where there is a rural or urban. We hardly own property as such. We hardly, collectively or individually, from which to do these businesses. We hardly own structures, mechanisms to move, transport structures to move. We hardly own finance. We have very little control over the investment structures, finances and monies and these sort of things. But we have an enterprising spirit somehow, and we definitely have entrepreneurial spirit. Definitely. But we meet places there's no light. So we have to shine the light so that our people could see and go through. The 3 characteristics of an enterprise. So as we say, no weak heart could go Zion. Right? So if you want to be enterprising, you can't be a weak heart. Because you got to reach Zion for enterprising people. 3 characteristics of an enterprise. Enterprise take risk. Take risk. The older generation, my father's generation and so on, you say, nothing beat a trial but a failure. A lot of people afraid to try, afraid to take a try, afraid to change. You know? Some of them even afraid to cross the road from one side of the street to the other. The second characteristic is show initiative and make things happen. That is it. Show initiative. Show initiative. Be the first person to go out there and start something.
www.bayhillnews.net is the parent body of Bay Hill News Network. We do Facebook Live for church service, funeral service, lecture, sporting activity. For more contact at bayhillnewsnetwork@gmail.com or call 1-704-529-8340.
So I was saying, initiative. Show initiative when things happen. And the third characteristic for an enterprise is to undertake new ventures. Undertake new ventures. Start something new. Be creative. Take the initiative. Make things happen. Undertake new ventures. Nature. So that is good, the enterprise. But there is also the I, dash I. And what is the I? You know, in the creative language, I is not an egotistical expression. I is an expression of self-knowledge, self-realization, of overstanding of oneself, of oneness. Okay? So the I here is for innovation. And there are no greater innovators on this planet Earth than our people. You just have to open your senses and realize and get the knowledge, historical knowledge, that your ancestors were innovators, and connect with that vibration. Innovation means the carrying out of new combinations that include the introduction of new goods, new methods of production, the opening of new markets, the conquest of new sources of supply, and the carrying out of a new organization of any industry. Let me say that again. Innovation here means the carrying out of new combinations that include the introduction of new goods, new methods of production, the opening up of new markets, the conquest of new sources of supply, and the carrying out of a new organization of any industry. So we have nature, I, national, agrarian, transformation, unification, and replenishment, enterprise, innovation. Okay? Now, a lot of people, most of them don't know yet, but they are already included as members of this structure because of the relationship that they have been having with I over the past year or months or so on. And we have to, these are the people whose vibration I find very positive. Not that there are not others with positive vibration, but those are those who I have met. And I know that these are the people who need the guidance and the togetherness to step into this light and to make the best of their circumstances. And that could happen. Because we could make it if we try. Yes, we could make it if we try. And we're going to make it. We're going to make it. Sorry we can't get the music up right now, but we're going to get some music up in a little while to inspire you to move forward and step in the light in this 2021. Create the harmony in our step. And from the harmony, we'll get the right vibration, we'll get the right balance, we'll create the right mystic, natural mystic, and we will get where we want to go. We will get where we want to go. Yes. So that, as briefly as I could put it, in this first program, is where we really are going. Not want to go, because we are going, we already on the way going there in 2021. We're going to keep the thinking and the comments positive. We're not going to be complaining, looking back and complaining. That era is gone. That era finished on the 21st of this month, last month, December. This is a new month, new year, new time, new deal, new everything. When that conjunction started, and that conjunction will last here, this conjunction will last for another 200 years. This is the age of Aquarius. We have just moved from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. Different vibrations. Okay? And more hope for our people, more prosperity, more opportunities. So you have to grab them and grab them collectively, not just individually, but collectively, because we are stepping into the light. Stepping into the light. This year started very favorably. Very, very favorably. As per usual, for those of us who are up in the passing of the old year, the traditional thing is that soon after the old year pass with the little winds and so on, the winds are up, of course. Heavens and the spirit in the heavens moving. There were some blessings. Some places got a heavier shower than others, but they were blessings. Definitely blessings in our area down here. And then early this morning, at the crack of dawn, there were blessings again. And astrologically, today is also a favorable planting day for certain foods. For certain foods. So, in times to come, we're going to be giving you all that information, guiding information. What do you have to you might be asking yourself the question, what do you have to gain by being a part of Nature Eye? Well, quite a lot. Quite a lot. Collective security, priceless information, production facilitation, market information facilitation, getting knowledge of how to do certain things and how to get things going, and how to connect. You get all the links to connect with lots of different things, and you get empowerment because you will be working collectively. And as they say, one hand can't clap. You'll be working with many hands. You'll be connected with many hands. And when you clap, you make that sound for the rhythm of stepping, and we step in. We step in. Remember, clapping was one of the percussions. When we drum,